beautiful souls. Happy Friday the 13th. How are we feeling? Oh my goodness. Okay. Come on. Welcome to Freebie Friday the 13th, the day of the divine feminine. I trust that we are connecting live at the most perfect time. Things are hopping here in my neighborhood. There's emergency lights to the north and a helicopter flying overhead. So there's all kinds of shenanigans. Hey, Miss Mo, how's it going, sis? Woo, happy day of the divine feminine on the rise. I thought I would be live at 8:44 and then a message decided to come through. I was guided to sit down and write a little bit about Jupiter in Cancer. So let's get this show on the road. Thanks for being here. Thanks for showing up. It is Freebie Friday. So for all subscribers who are here during the live chat, I will post some cards. And welcome, Miss Kiva. I am still so curious to know about your date. So please do share with us. I haven't been live since, you mentioned that you had it and it was a positive one. So I'm very interested, sister. Let's get the Palo Santo going. Let's get this. Tristan's decided to take residence on my lap with my book. Well, I haven't been live since, when was I last live? It's been quite a week. It's been quite a week. I'm coming to the end. I'm now in what would be Saturday of my weekend, and I go back, or no, Friday. It's Friday? Yeah, Saturday of my weekend, and tomorrow will be Sunday. And I go back to work on Sunday, and it really hardly feels like I've had a week off. I could really use the summer off. And I bet you agree. Energetically, it's been a lot. And there's a lot to share and talk about. So at this time, I'd like to ask that I'm a clear and pure channel to bring through messages of Source Divine, loving and kind, the nurturing essence of the feminine, the goddess that guides. As we navigate this life, 10 toes on the ground via the pathway of a calm central nervous system. So. When we were young, we used to say, suck my toe all the way to Mexico. When you're there, comb your hair. Don't forget your underwear. And then there was something about a wagon wheel. It's not very nice. Nice. Oh, well, 3 hours is not, who doesn't love a nice drive? Is the drive at least scenic? Like driving up, if I were to drive towards Miss Dawn here, it would be a scenic drive depending on the time of the year. So, that could work. That sounds hopeful. So, how was everyone's week? When I was going to check when I was last live, I think it was, let's see. Wednesday. Yeah. So it's been a while. How's the stream? Is the stream clear? I do 3 hours. Oh, so yeah. Yes. Okay, perfect. Clear. So since we last connected on Wednesday, which was the day of the full moon, Scorpio or Sag, real-time sky or Western astrology sky. And I don't know about this week has felt very well. Jupiter moved into the sign of Cancer on Monday, which was interesting. Mercury moved in on Sunday, and then Jupiter on Monday, and they're holding space there in Cancer for the sun to arrive next week. And Jupiter is going to be in Cancer until June 30th of 2026. And Jupiter is really all about our expansion. And, it just feels so tender at this time is really what we're feeling. It feels tender at this time. And so as I was tuning into that energy, like less than 10, 15 minutes ago, this is what came through. And then it stopped. It's really funny. And then it stopped abundantly. You'll see as I share. It stopped immediately, like it was just done. Although I did hear two other words, which I wasn't going to write, but they kept, I had closed the book and the words kept like rolling around in my brain. And you'll see what I mean. So I wrote Jupiter in Cancer. Hey, Phantom Punk 007, welcome. Welcome to Friday the 13th, Day of the Divine Feminine, Freebie Friday. All subscribers who are interested, I will do like mini readings tonight. Thanks for being here. You've helped shift some of the energy that I had been feeling earlier, and it was quite stagnant. Like I was literally on the couch today. I was literally on the couch. I got dressed up to go to the couch, and that was good. That's good. So I hope you're all dressed up in your divine feminine finest and your masculine, whatever it is that really, whatever has you feeling good. Today's the day to really embrace the essence that you bring to this earthly experience, earthlings, siblings. So, you'll remember on Wednesday, it was Whimsical Wednesday, and there was an interactive component to the live. So I feel like right now I'm being guided to turn the page, because today when I started writing, you'll see Jupiter in Cancer. I was guided to continue it on the notes from the full moon energy. So let's just revisit that, because that's, these energies aren't just a snapshot a day and then, we're through it. We're feeling, if you're anything like me, and you are, I trust, the resonance that emanates from the heart space, you feel it. So we're very sensitive. We're highly sensitive. And we have been feeling these big planetary transits all of our life without perhaps understanding what we've been feeling. And even today, do we really understand? We have a certain awareness and perspective. And the biggest gift of Jupiter in Cancer for this next year, its transit for the next year, it's a big one. And the gift is an expansion of our consciousness, an expansion of our gifts. The reason for our being is really coming into it's coming to life. It's coming to life. And it doesn't happen overnight. It takes time. And right now we are in this very tender time, waiting for the sun to come and shine into Cancer, temper some of that watery element down. This though really feels, today has really felt, the message that's coming through is like a grieving energy, a grieving for what was, and a grieving for who we once were, and a, you know, a saying goodbye to a, I was just listening if one of my dogs was crying. I did get dressed up to go to the couch. I got a pretty blue skirt on. It's got sequins and it's so flowy. I love it. I did go to get some soil today, and one young lady at the store said to me, "You look fabulous." And I said, "Happy Day of the Goddess. Thank you so much." And likewise, because she looked fabulous too. And every woman I greeted, and even the gentleman I spoke to in one of the stops I made along the way, I literally wasn't out of the house for more than an hour. Like in the community, I was in my yard space, my pen. And even the gentleman I spoke to today, we had some beautiful heart talk and 1111. And this is what the world needs more of. And so back to the energies, they're not just for that day. We humans tend to work in terms of like calendars, dates, hour, et cetera, et cetera. Spirit, the unseen realms, doesn't work like that. Yes. And thank you. Thank you. So to the full moon, which we had on Wednesday, we were asked to honor what is sore. You are about to rediscover aspects of your divine self of which you are going to adore. Adorned jewel of love in God's crown upon Mother Earth, sweet shining Gaia. And as I was reading that, where just now, honor what is sore. You are about to rediscover aspects of divine self and soar. That's what I heard. It was 12:22 there. So Mercury and Jupiter. Jupiter is all about expansion, and they're here in Cancer now. They're in Cancer, holding space, reminding us. Mercury's there too, reminding us that we hold all the answers within. We have the answers. Just one second. It is my little dog crying. Just give me a second, please. She was literally crying for me to pick her up and put her on the couch where she has a treat that she's been guarding. So yeah, Mercury and Jupiter in Cancer tell us and remind us, and remember, Jupiter is going to be there for a while, a year and a bit. You hold all the answers, and it's time for each of us to answer the call that only we can hear from within. And it's a call to service, and it's a call to manifest it all. And at the same time, we have Venus in Taurus, really, really encouraging us to embrace the idea of, I'm hearing romantic love in this time and space. At the same time, we have Mars finishing up in Leo and moving into Virgo on Sunday. So, Mars from Leo, this fiery energy, into this earthy energy with Venus in Taurus. This is really about us settling in at this time. And there's a lot going on. I don't know the ins and outs of what all is going on in the world, but it looks like an absolute shit show from what I've seen. And, it's really what is being shown on the screens, if you will. I'd like to think this is not contributing to that. What is being seen is absolute garbage. It's absolute garbage. And when we like, I don't know if it's drug induced. I don't know if it's like, you know, seeded into the consciousness through the technology. I mean, yes, it's all of this. And it's nonsense because none of us, every time I say that, I think of none of it. Maybe that's a great place to go. Who knows? None of it. Let's all rub noses like the Eskimos. I don't even know. Are we allowed to say Eskimos these days? It's just insane. It's insane from the perspective of, one who may appear to be insane by those who, like it's mirrors, I guess. I don't know. I don't know. What's going on? What is going on? So it'll be nice to have Mars moving into Virgo on Sunday. At the same time, we have Jupiter and Saturn in Aries, and they're about to go retrograde back into Pisces. And so everybody's Jupiter and Saturn are at 2 degrees. So there's this big square with Neptune and Saturn in Aries and Jupiter and Mercury in Cancer. There's this big square going on, and it's happening at 2 degrees. And if we add the 2 and 2, if we standing on our own 2 feet, high priestess, intuitive energy, as well as that emperor energy when we're looking at the major arcana of the tarot, that 4, and we've got 4 live viewers and 4 thumbs up. So thank you so very much. So the double 2s also for the number I connect with the angelic realms with. So we're really being encouraged at this time by our team of light, by the eternal source, loving source, conscious, loving, kind, creative source that through which we're all connected. We're being encouraged at this time to go for it, to knowing we are supported. 22, our path of mastery. We have, it feels like the first wave has passed the first stage. And we're all at various stages of the wave in the evolutionary journey of the eternal soul. Too much, right? Too much. It's too much, and yet perhaps we don't talk about this enough because we all are spiritual in nature. And the reason that we see the insanity in the world is the disconnect from our natural state, the disconnect of children touching bare feet, 10 toes to Mother Earth. Instead of making love, or in the name of love, all that I see happening on a wide scale is hate, fear. And everyone is negating, those who participate are negating their divine responsibility, because we are each a gateway of the divine. So the retrograde of Jupiter and Neptune back into Pisces is going to be taking place until February of 2026. And then they'll move back into Aries. So this time next year, we'll have had these. And if you remember, we had a lot going on in Pisces early spring. So these are big cycles. And it feels like this is what a big part of these messages and the connection is tonight. We only have one Friday the 13th in this Gregorian year of 2025. Expansion of divine birthright. Expansion of those who are willing to live their best life. No more hiding. Ollie, ollie, oxen free. Come out wherever you are. Because it is your heart. I was told yesterday, I went to visit my friend, Uncle Mickey. He's 83. He's my biggest fan, one of my biggest fans. And, yesterday at one point, we went for a walk. I took him out. We found a beautiful shaded spot and just enjoyed each other's company. And, I share a lot with him. I took some writing to share with him. And, without going into all the details, hey, Colleen, welcome, sister. Happy Friday the 13th, day of the divine feminine. We are rising. So anyways, during a part of our visit, he scolded me. He scolded me, 12:21, and it reminded me of Frank, because Frank had the same way. And, he basically I'm kind of at a loss for words, as you can tell, and that's unusual. Perhaps because of the scolding, and also perhaps because of the truth in it. And the scolding was, he's been encouraging me for years to write my story. And I've been resistant for years. I do write all the time. And, so we had a conversation around that. So that's as far as we're going to go with that. And yet this is a time, this is really a time, 2222. We are being asked to come out and shine and to not hide ourselves from the world anymore, to not hide that which is divine, which is each and every one of us. And we are, we're living through the most aggressively changing times. Some may disagree. So let's get back to this. The last time we had Saturn and Neptune in Aries, or in Pisces, the last time they were together was 1989. What were you doing in 1989? I was 19. What were you doing? What was going on in your life? What was going on in the world? Well, I'll tell you, one thing that was going on in the world is the World Wide Web, which, the ability to connect with you like this. The World Wide Web was going on, and things were opening up, the lines of communication were opening up. And here we are all these years later in 2025. And what's going on? This tool, this web, it's really being used, and probably from the beginning, it's more of the confined system. And Jupiter in Cancer is asking us to expand and supporting us to expand into the cosmic web, the universal web. And that's what we're doing, and working, hopefully to our advantage with the connections through the World Wide Web, and supporting the elevation of that too, and the removing the tentacles that feel like they're around the neck of humanity. Are you feeling it? Who's feeling that? So the square going on with Jupiter and Mercury and Saturn and Neptune is really supporting us to expand our consciousness while encouraging us and actually guiding us strongly to stabilize the higher frequency of consciousness that we are here to hold. A return to source once more, source within. Return to source within, of course, the waters of life that are love's light. That's each of us. And so I wrote a www of control, the World Wide Web of control. Or now in 2025, so 1989, we got the World Wide Web. Now we are connecting, you and I, all of us are connecting through the causal body of God, this higher source consciousness, holding higher frequencies, and we're supported by the higher dimensional realms. We actually exist in the higher dimensional realms right here and now. We're meant to have 10 toes on the ground. Wow, connecting to the universal source. The universal connective system is what I wrote. And then some questions came through. Who are we? What is the meaning of being human? What's the point? What is the point of being human? HUEMAN. The last time we had Jupiter and Saturn meet, and Pluto was also in there with Jupiter and Saturn, they were conjunct in 2020. And prior to that, it had been 2000 plus years before that they met up. So we're living through these massive, we're in these cycles that are monthly, weekly, yearly, seasonal, daily, all of this. And then we're in these massive cycles that, have, we are here to see and experience them on Mother Earth for great purpose at this time. And at that time, when Saturn, Jupiter, and Pluto were conjunct in 2020, what was happening in the world? Masking, social distancing, lockdowns, crackdowns on the family, crackdowns on health. We're all responsible for one another. We are, yes, indeed. Depends what kind of medicine we're administering. So at that time, we were moving away from one another. So here and now, the question is, what is our truth? Shared and unique, personal to our experience, personal to our perspective, which is based on our experience, personal to our relationship to source. We're all at various stages of our eternal soul's development. And yet we're all here, human at this time, for a very specific purpose: to restore righteousness to this planetary realm. And, if source that you believe in encourages you to harm another, your sister or brother, I would strongly encourage you to come back to the heart that beats within. Because the brain is clearly, overriding all of your innate functioning. And source, regardless of the name, regardless of the denomination, from this personal perspective, is the same. And true source, true God, true creator, the divine mother and father is loving and kind. And we have to, as humans, move beyond the mind and the justifications of the mind for poor behavior. So what is our truth, shared and unique? We're approaching the solstice. And the solstice is bringing with it the question, why are we here? And I believe we are here as seeds of consciousness. Here we came to Mother Earth to plant our feet and to connect with the mother, to heal. And, our soul is the soil, or this human experience is the soil in which the soul is nourished. The soul is nourished to life. And we're really, truly here on a path of fulfillment. And we can come and support each other at gatherings like this, and all of that. And yet it's up to each of us to gather and gain strength from such connections and go out there and do it. Be the change. Uncle Mickey said to me yesterday, because I walked in and it was his, I didn't realize my days are so off. Anyways, it was his regular Thursday meeting with the boys, the prayer group. They come, and there was 8 of them in the room when I walked in. I got off the elevator, and this is what I saw. And they had a keyboard set up, and I walked in, and I knew, Uncle Mickey and 2 of other of the gentlemen in the room. And I went around and introduced myself to everyone. And, we wrapped it up with a prayer. Of course, there was a little bit of, some humor in there. And when we left that room and we went, and it was lunchtime, he said to me, Lisa, you light up a room when you come in. And I said, I know. And then I thought, is that like egocentric of me? And perhaps on some level it was. And on another, perhaps it was just an acknowledgement, finally, of, knowing that I am the light of the world. And we are here to light up the spaces we go in. And what really supports our ability to shine our light, I feel, is a childlike sense of wonder, 10 toes to the ground, resting, creating, dancing, playing, all of it. So the solstice is, so I had written, Gaia has called us here because we are the seeds. We are the seeds here to awaken to the cosmic web, the universal web, the expanded intelligence beyond the World Wide Web. There's a greater purpose. We are far greater than this. And far too many of our brothers and sisters are living in absolute misery, and it's spreading like a virus. It's spreading, right? So if we can stabilize in this energy and stay on purpose, we will, I just heard, breeze through this. And you're all probably going, yeah, okay, Lisa, sure. And look at the world. I know, but this is why we have to hone our focus on our daily path of devotion and our emotional, physical, and spiritual wellness, along with the mental health. And if our mental health is not well, if one component of our health is not well, we have to, we're called to address the bigger picture. And the greatest gift we can give ourselves is just to focus in and breathe. So this is a time of expanded intelligence. We are the golden threads. We are the wild things and the wild cards, given a blank slate, the highest of stakes. Consecrate here and now that which is holy. your royal divineness. Glory to the highest. Born for this. Live your bliss. Faith and hope support your soul's growth. Are you guys resonating with this? There's 5 live viewers and 4 thumbs up. So give me that one more thumbs up. And don't forget, tonight is Freebie Friday. And so if you are not yet subscribed to the channel, please do hit that subscribe button. And if you are subscribed and you'd like me to pull some cards and tune into your vibe, I'm not even sure which cards I'm going to be using yet. I haven't received any guidance. So we'll just sit with this. But let me know, is this resonating? Are you feeling it too? Are you feeling tender? Thank you. Yay. Thank you. Thank you. At 35:44. So then today, underneath all of that, I was guided to write Jupiter in Cancer until June 30th of 2026. And this is a period of time about welcomed, expanded abundance. And right here and now. So remember, the Jupiter in Cancer is a year plus cycle, a year plus a couple weeks. So it's about welcomed, expanded abundance. So welcomed expansion, welcomed co-creation, just this whole opening. Right here and now, though, on this Friday the 13th, the only one we have this year. How many do we have next year? Let's see when the next Friday the 13th is. The first thing that comes up, Doomsday. Yeah, okay. Right? Remember that? How ridiculous. So apparently the next Friday the 13th is November of 2026. No, okay. So here we go. We have Friday the 13th in February, March, and November next year. 3 of them. And then when we go into 2027, the year of mastery, we have one in Virgo season on Friday the 13th. No, not Virgo season, close to Virgo season. And then not another one until 2028. So 1 this year, 3 next year, and 1 in 2027. Something about that, we'll get into it. Well, 1, 3, and then 1 is like that 13 energy, divine feminine, right? The divine feminine is coming into her own and welcoming connection with the other. Oh, this week has felt very not restrictive, very much about the hermit energy. I've been very much in the hermit energy since my son departed on Wednesday, early evening. And again, like it's just been Lisa, honoring the mood, honoring the Jupiter in Cancer, Mercury in Cancer, the moody energy. We're going to have a moon in Cancer. So after all of that, I was guided to write expansion is uncomfortable. We are grieving what was, saying goodbye to who we were, welcoming who we have always been. We are home. This is about soul growth. And, although it feels like a very solitary movement, the movement is growing. And the more we talk to one another, the more we communicate with our sisters and brothers, regardless of how they identify. And most ways, most ways that folks identify is very it's very exclusive. Yet when we can identify and share with others from the heart space, like those two gentlemen that I shared with today, I went on a little bit of a like preach sister, and they were very receptive, and they were very, because it's when we show up as ourselves and when we integrate in the moment the higher source consciousness of ourself, we can then begin to communicate that in ways that bring people together. We're feeling, tender. So then I wrote tenderness, gentleness, softness. Your human needs this. Breathe. And so many dear souls, like I feel really tender today, and that just little short time I spent out there in the world, flighting through the world and feeling like a goddess, feeling like an empowered feminine, strong and confident and sure for the most part, who she is. There was so much sadness that I connected with, so much heart, like in the heart space of others, so much pain, so much grief. And as sensitive ones, as empaths, we really have to learn to support ourselves, to be out there in the world, because we are called to be out there in the world, integrating and, sharing and elevating, inspiring, co-creating. So tenderness, gentleness, softness. Your human needs this. Breathe. Vulnerability to share. And, I have felt my verge on my voice has been shaky all day. Shaky. And I've felt this, right behind there is a floodgate of tears, and they will eventually come. It feels a necessary component for me at this time, to release. And as empaths, we don't want to be sponges, yet we're incredibly powerful medicine for the world as well. And so it's up to us to harness our power and to work with Mother Earth to support the clearing of, that which we connect with in the day as well, and that which connects with us. We can support others just by keeping ourselves a clean slate. Yeah, as we navigate these emotionally draining and straining times. And there's this real, again, with Mercury moving into Virgo on Mars moving into Virgo on Sunday, hopefully we get a tempering of this fiery, outrageous lunacy, let's say. Like, this has been a big week with the full moon. And I was off this week. I was like, it's going to be the Holy Trinity week. I'm going to be live all the time for 44 minutes on the clock there. Live every day, blah, blah, blah. No way, Lisa. What were you thinking? This has been a big week of processing, and a big week, with Venus in Taurus. This is relational, about our relationships with others, as well as our relationship with ourselves. What are we telling ourselves? What are we holding back? So breathe, vulnerability, stability, nobility, divine royalty. Empty yourself, emptiness, so that we may fill up 4455. Chalice or cup, fueled or running on empty. Divine empathy. So again, that's about like our connections when we go out in the world. We must fuel ourselves to go out in the world in a stable way, to integrated, so that we may support the elevation. And at the same time, we have to show up for ourselves in devotional ways so that we can continue the integration and the holding of these higher frequencies of divine light in the here and now as a part of the holy shift. We were all born for this. In fact, on a soul level, we agreed to it. Like it or not, we did. And, I have no way to prove that, right? There's no evidence. I can't provide you with any evidence. And that's why, for me, what seems insanity, what I see in the world seems absolutely ludicrous and insane. And, perhaps there are many factions of the outside world who would look at this girl and say she's crazy. And, perhaps. And yet, I understand that we're all connected. I understand I believe it's true for all of us, is that we are here temporarily as humans, HUE, to address the issues that humans have had in skin for a very long time with one another. And yet we're all sisters and brothers, just various shades of brown. We're here to have 10 toes on the ground. It's not boots on the ground stomping heads and necks of our fellows. Oh, lipstick. Oh, I don't have any lipstick. I'll put my lip balm. Lipstick, I end up with it on my lips. If I put mascara on, which is, I don't have any, I like all natural. So if I put mascara on, I don't even have any right now because it's like $25 a tube. I put it on and then I'm like, I rub my eyes. I rub my eyes so much. So then I look like a raccoon more than, but it does. I found over the years, if I just put mascara on the top lashes, it draws the attention away from the heaviness under the eyes, which is hereditary. It is. So yeah, are we fueled up as we go out into the world and as we navigate our world and our own lives in our nest? Are we fueled or are we running on empathy? Running on empty? And that's up to each of us, right? And if we're running on empty, perhaps we need to refine our practices about, calling in protection, working with crystals, working with color. Black is very supportive of like keeping things off of us. So black crystals, black clothing, and many of you will find that you have a tendency, and I certainly found in the early years of understanding my gifts and understanding or coming to awaken to my gifts and who I was, it was so important because a lot of the stuff I had been carrying around most of my life wasn't my own, whether it came from, familial connections, lovers, people just out there in the world at the mall, whatever it was, a lot of it wasn't mine. So we do have to discern what is ours and what may be tagging along for the ride, like moths to the light. So then I turned the page and I wrote sensitive, intuitive, highly tuned in. And for those of you who know me, when the writing starts to become all capital letters, this is like automatic writing, a channeled message from loving source, God, my higher self, whatever, God, source, a loving creator, responsible, a loving consciousness, a loving intelligence, universal consciousness, sensitive, intuitive, highly tuned in, devotion to the divine. You sacredness, were born to shine, light up rooms intertwined with the divine. Dancing delight, twinkle toes, 10 of them on the ground, love abounds. Graciousness too, you are worthy, please be good to you. Be you. You know within, you agreed to. Sacred covenant, sacred contract, there now for soul fulfillment of missionary work. You are upon the path of personal development. Trust your soul who knows this. Your eternal soul now lives and breathes as you this present moment. This very moment, you are mastering your craft. Your newfound abundance is a blast. Settled down at last. Not settling. Oh, yes, not that. We are free at last. The past is the past. Let go of that. Settle in now. We are safe. We are safe. Let love lead the way. We are the gate. Goddess of grace. Goddess of grace. Home plate. So then now just words started coming through. So it was home plate, tectonic, magnetic, prophetic, genetic, lineage. And then it just stopped, but I kept hearing skinny bitch. So I'm like, okay. So like lineage just stopped, right? The whole thing stopped. And then over here, like a minute or so later, I'm like writing it because I heard it, LOL, skinny bitch. And then I heard sacred itch, medicine, you are this, opening. So, that's the energy of Jupiter in Cancer. And this year, it's all going to be about our expansion. And it feels like, for some of us, it feels like this grieving process is going to move. We're going to move through it quickly. And by the time of the solstice, we're really going to be settling into our unique groove, to our shared and personal truths. And, those of you who are here, 5252, know that the way is through the physical vessel, the human, HUE, that is you. So this is good stuff. This is really good stuff. Are you feeling it? Are you feeling it? And, it's funny because there's 5 viewers and 5 thumbs up. Thank you. 5 is uncomfortable, right? 5 is an uncomfortable energy to be within because it's about change. 5 is all about change. And it's the Hierophant, right? It's the traditional, the teachings, and those of us that are here connecting in this space, it's not about being traditional, perhaps traditional from the ancient ways, ancient days, eons of time ago. And that's where the discomfort and because we are here for big change, we are the change, we are, the ones who have done the inner work and continue to do the inner work. It's, I'm not sure that if that ever ends. And I suspect I would be leery of someone who says that it does, because it hasn't been my experience as of yet. And, as we're human and we're always going to, unless we hermit away, unless we hermit away and go to our cave and live out the rest of our life in the cave in the Himalayas, we've probably done that in another timeline. Or perhaps we're doing it consecutively. Who knows? We don't really. And what we do know is what's tangible, what's here in front of us. And so let us focus on this. Let us focus on living our bliss, like truly showing up for it. Some decks finally popped out. Fun ones, because this feels like these messages. This is a message tonight for those who I'm open to pulling cards. I'm going to get the coffee. Hey, Erica, welcome. Tonight's Freebie Friday. It's also Friday the 13th, the only one we have in the Gregorian 2025, the day of the divine goddess here to rise. And so welcome, Erica. Thank you so much for showing up. The only ask for me to connect and pull cards for you is that you subscribe. You're a subscriber to the channel. And come back, because we do this every Friday night. Yeah, the chapstick does work, Kiva. What color lipstick do you ladies like to wear? Yeah, the divine did have other plans for me this week. And, I'm still kind of licking my wounds from, Uncle Mickey's, what will we say? What did I say it was? His sternness with me. And yet, I'm licking the wounds because I know it is true. Divine Feminine. Red. Yes, yes, yes. Well, these cards, that's what we're here for. And I'm really excited about the cards. I feel like there's another deck here that wants to come out and play with us tonight. Oh, the Shaman's Way. They said it right in the Shaman's Dream, I think it's called, not the Shaman's Way. Excuse me. So the Shaman's, no, that's not even the Shaman's Dream. The Rumi Oracle came out. So maybe we'll pull a Rumi card for all of us. Where's the Shamans? I heard it. So I got to get it. They're really playing with me now. Is that it? Yeah, that's it. Is that it? I don't know. You know what? I don't even think this is it either. The Shaman's Dream. Oh, I keep going back to that deck. Okay. Oh, there it is. Okay. Okay, Rumi. Okay. You know what? We're going with Rumi. We got a variety here tonight. So I'm not in any hurry to go anywhere. I am here as long as you're here for it. Grab a cup of tea, get yourself comfortable. Go let your friends and family know. Free readings happening over on YouTube. Everyone's welcome. Here, it would appear we have mostly divine feminine, although the analytics of this platform say that the audience is 50-50. With the divine masculine a little out in front. Yeah, grab a tea. Hey, Crystal, welcome. Snugged in bed. Nice. I'm still wearing my frilly skirt and all of that. You know what? It was a little cold. I almost considered putting some tights on under the skirt today. Very chilly here. Very chilly. Okay, so I feel like for all of us, before I start pulling cards for all subscribers who are here, yeah, it's like autumn outside, and there'll be some out there. Again, I just try to go direct to source, straight to God, the Father, and Earth, the Mother, for the answers and to help to bring those answers up. Because there's a lot of, whether it's the World Wide Web and, the World Wide Web, what did we get in that? We've got like all these global organizations that know nothing about the lands that you and I live in. And, it's really time again to come back to what really matters. What is it? Like the question that came through, what is it to be human? What's the point? What is the point? Are we getting the point? It's like a sharp poke in the eye. So I'm going to light some sage, not because there's anything particularly, I don't feel any negative energy around or anything like that, just to clear the space. And I can feel the angels and my guides moving in. I'm starting to sweat. And just, as we connect, I just want to say I'm so grateful for the connection. Thank you so much for allowing me to tune in to your divine energy. And I know that truly anyone who is guided here, you're here for great purpose. And we have shared time and space together before, other timelines, other lifetimes. And I'm so grateful that we have reestablished connection here at this most profound time and the holiest of shifts. It was 10111. And then maybe I'm going to go and just put this in the window, just so it doesn't overtake us. Okay, so if you are a subscriber to the channel and you would like a card pulled, please do let me know in the live chat. If you're here and you're not a subscriber and you would like some cards pulled for you, please do hit that subscribe button, hit the little notification bell, and engage here in the chat. I'm happy to make the connection, and I trust that whatever is shared, whenever you receive it, and you may come back to the message. You may want to snapshot where your message was. Although all of these messages, because we share connection through the universal web, all of these messages will likely, some parts of it or aspects of them will resonate because we are, a soul tribe, soul family working through similar energetic streams. Absolutely. So we're going to, because Rumi popped out first. Oh, and look at this. In the Rumi deck, there is a Shaman's Dream card mixed in, the Wailing Tree, which comes to a 14, which is that 5 energy again, which is temperance, patience. Remember, we're working within this big cycle. Look at that. And you know what I saw on the top of the tree? Those are autumn leaves. What I saw when I put it down was this Mars energy, this fiery energy, explosive, patriarchal BS, nonsense, not what we're here for. We are closing the door on that, and we are speaking up by getting grounded, 10 toes on the ground. Trusting our heart, because we are here for profound purpose. They're saying the bottom card of the Rumi oracle, the blessing of Al Hakim. That is very interesting. Trusting your intuition. They're saying the bottom one again, so I'll take that bottom one. Oh, wow. Passion of the Wild Red Mother. This feels big, ladies and gents. This feels really big. First of all, I'm really being guided to say the shift that's being encouraged on the planet is to honor our humanness. And the BS that has been going on the Holy Lands and the whole of Mother Earth, our holy lands. Okay? Let's get that straight. wherever we are, wherever our 10 feet, did you see that? Wherever our 10 feet touch the ground is holy land. We are holy land. And we are descendants from places all across the lands. Within each of us, we are relatives, if they say the one drop rule. And so I feel with these two cards coming out, we are being called to honor our differences. And women, sisters, mothers, grandmothers, aunties, we are here to share stories. We are here to lift our voice, to restore reason to this temporary generational insanity that has been going on through the lineage. Lineage was the last word. And our lineage is ancient and sacred and deep. All of us. All of us. And, I know like, oh, a lot will say, oh, that's just, wishful thinking. People don't want to come back to their heart. People don't want, I really believe that if we start talking to our sisters and brothers beyond our differences, beyond our beliefs, essentially humans, HUE, want the same things for their children: prosperity, abundance, shelter, warmth, food. Why have we gone? How have we gone so far astray? Perhaps because I can only speak from my personal lifetime. I will be 55 this summer. And I will say in my lifetime, we have gone astray from family, the nuclear family. That doesn't matter anymore, apparently. Right? And it's been a generational thing. And so for many, instead of expansion, it's been this, and especially since 2020 with the Jupiter, Saturn, and Pluto conjunction, it's hey, circa or vintage 1970. Yeah, and you know what? Drop in the comments if you feel comfortable in the live stream. Let me know when you were born. Put your gen down there. Don't give me I don't understand all these generation things. I think a millennial should have been someone who was born, around the turn of the century in the 2000s. But the span of these ages are far reaching than I would consider, a generation per se. So, like as we move through this year and we've got the 4 energy again, the emperor energy, it feels like through the feminine's passion, through the feminine coming back online, completing it, she's had enough of the BS. We've had enough. We're wrapping it up. We're wrapping it up. We're in a universal 9 year. We have a 36 here. Life path 9. 36-9 is the life path I'm traveling. What's yours? Oh, 77, Scorpio. Yeah. What's your life path? Do you know it? I said that we would do some numerology here one night, and we will. Maybe we'll do that next Friday night. The passion of the wild mother, the feminine, like we were in 2012, 13 years on, I think we've had enough of the BS. We've just had enough with it. We're done with it. And this is the medicine woman rising, restoring birthright by claiming hers, by claiming yours, and sharing our hearts more with our brothers, because they are as confused as any, they're as confused as any of us. Some of us have slightly more clarity, right? So I really feel guided to see what the piece of prose, the poetry that Rumi wrote for these 2 cards. I feel that that's important for us to hear. So let's see, 40. I opened it to 21, and I'm feeling guided to share that, so I'm going to. Sacred Phoenix Heart. Under the cover of blood, love veils many rose gardens. In total faith, love tenderly guides every lover to the garden of his heart. This is amazing stuff. I'm so grateful for the team of light that guides me and loves me unconditionally. Reason says the world is limited in its direction. There is no way out. Love says there is a way, and I have traveled it many times. So that's where I opened the page. I was trying to get to number 40 and opened it there. 21, the world. Let's read this again because it feels like it really ties into everything, the energy that we're tuning into. Under the cover of blood, love veils many rose gardens. In total faith, love tenderly guides every lover to the garden of his heart, of the heart. Reason says the world is limited in 6 directions. There is no way out. Love says there is a way, and I have traveled it many times. And so this really feels like the energy of the soul journey. Sisters, brothers, we have done this many times. We are here in this lifetime to rise. And yes, it's true. Many of us have had harrowing experience as the human who lives and breathes here today. We have, and yet we're still here. And the heart still beats. And there is a call from within. The soul still speaks to us from within. And there's a reason that, we are drawn to these gatherings. So we have a Scorpio at 77, 70 years young. And your sign, Scorpio. Wow, the Scorpios are in the house. My son's a Scorpio. I'm a Virgo. Crystal's a Virgo. Virgo in the house. Life path 5. We are sisters here. And we're brothers to those men that find their way here week after week or pop in from time to time. They're our brothers too. And, they are drawn here for great purpose too. And it's not easy, right? We've had the harrowing experiences. We know what it's like to love and loss, sorrow, pain. We know it all. And we also know that love lives. 6 years and 6 months almost to the day of Frank's transition on the 21st of December, 2018. Love lives and grows beyond the veil. And we are so loved. We are so loved. And it's time for us who love ourselves to show others through our action, because love is an action, how to love themselves too. And we have a lot of great works to do. Great works to do. It was 11331 there. So let's get to number 40. On the bottom of the deck, I put the deck upside down, a new gown. So that's another 9. So we're going to touch that one too. In the center of the 9, we have this 4, which is that square energy. Remember Jupiter and Saturn there, those 2 degrees, the double 4s, the angelic realms are supporting us here on Earth. Trust your intuition. We're seeing so much, it's like the World Wide Web is like the Wizard of Oz, the little man behind the curtain, the ones manipulating and running the show. They're benefiting and profiting, not the human souls here to grow and to give birth to a truly heavenly experience while here on Earth. Instead, what has been created for our human family around the world for generations of time is like sorrow and pain and agony and anguish and trauma and drought and starvation and oh, blah, 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 blah. It's so gross. It's so gross. Can we start again? Reset? Can we try to talk this out? Not pull stunts like our little Swedish friend? Come on. What kind of a clown world? What did you grow up watching on TV that has all the people believing such foolishness? Really, Tristan's coming back, signifying it's time to pull some cards and of our roots and the path back to ancient times, Egypt, times beyond the mind, times, of a higher evolved consciousness. Look at the heads on, our brothers and sisters from back then. I imagine I would have been wearing some pretty scarves around the head. What about you? As we moved through, the healing temples, working with frequency and sound. And our makeup was made of things like lapis lazuli, for eyeshadows and stuff like that. Like much more finely tuned in. Okay, so this was the first card, and this is for all of us, and then I'm going to start pulling cards. So make sure you're subscribed. If you want a card, let me know in the comments below, and we'll see which deck calls to speak to you. So the message of this card: sell your cleverness and buy bewilderment. Cleverness is opinion. Bewilderment is vision. And so that speaks to like not knowing. We don't have to have all the answers. We don't have to know how it's all going to play out. And it's the human thoughts about how everything should play out, and all of that really keeps us tangled in this web of deception. We're blinded by the truth. Humans have been blinded by the truth because it's been put right in front of them and sold as entertainment. And that's truly demonic and not harmonics, the harmonics of the higher realms that we're here to 10 toes to the ground, to anchor in, to restore. So that's pretty amazing. And then so the gift of wisdom, the blessing of Al-Hakim gurgles up from your heart. Her blessing. Isn't that interesting? I thought it was the masculine. Her blessing. We're grateful to receive today on the day of the divine feminine. How perfect. Her blessing is evoked by life, like the laughter of a babe joyfully responding to the playful tickle of a mother's hand. Wisdom can make divine sense of anything, especially of that where logic is blinded. How I revere the blessing of Al-Hakim, of wisdom, for she is precious and welcome to me, now and always, the dear friend who brings me such peace. How beautiful! Oh my gosh, we're so beautiful. Wow, thank you. Thank you so much. Honestly, your presence is such a gift. Okay, so the passion of the wild mother. And the passion of the wild mother, as Mars moves into Virgo, we sisters are going to be tempering this fiery masculine nonsense with grounded practicality, daily devotion, this kind of stuff. Don't ask the conscious ones about the wine. Behold the glowing effect of it in the eyes of the drunks. Wow. Don't ask the conscious ones about the wine. Behold the glowing effect of it in the eyes of the drunks. What are we drunk on? What is the world drunk on? Power, destruction, control, hate, greed, envy, the seven deadlies? I'd rather be drunk on love, 10 toes to the ground, twinkle toes. Bring me your unreasonableness, your insanity, your love without reason, and your passion. The passion that makes you crazy and shoo all logical restraint from your mind. Leave your ordered thoughts, sensible plans, and appropriate attire at my door. Put on your animal fur. I wore my animal fur on a dog walk this week. I found at a thrift store years ago, $15. It's a long vest, and I feel like a Viking when I wear it. I love it. Put on your animal fur and sing to me in gibberish. When my beautiful goats die, I make drums from their skins, and their spirits live on in my passionate play. When my birds drop their feathers, I gather them and put them in my hair. Come drum with me as I place feathers in your hair, and we honor the spirits of my animals, of your animal nature too, wild and free. What was that message? We are the wild things, the wild cards. Wild and free as you are in truth. Stick your tongue out and growl at those who try to tame you with guilt, shame, and fear. Do you think I give a damn of any sheer silly games? These games of reason and logic. Of course you should do it. Of course you should do it this way, they say. It makes sense. But I care not for what makes sense. I care for what brings you alive. Sisters, brothers, this is about the next year of our life. We are breaking free. And by this time next June, I can't wait to see. I can't wait to see what we co-create. I can't wait to see each of you experiencing the manifestation of dreams in your life, the abundant floodgate that is you opening up and co-creating with the divine, bringing to this world your unique and special gifts, your unique shine. And the shine is simply sometimes just a smile on our face, right? Our ability to bob and weave with grace. Let's look at this new gown. And this feels, again, guided by intuition. We are healing. We're trusting the purity of our heart. We're trusting our intuition more. Gemini, we're wrapping up Gemini season. We're wrapping it up, and it's been so healing. It's been so healing. I could just keep going, right? Like this is all confirmation of what has already flowed through tonight. And these cards, the Rumi Oracle, were cards that are intended to guide us through. This is what we are moving through this next year in a couple of weeks with Jupiter in Cancer, this expansion. And we're going to experience discomfort as we expand. Think about the balloon that blows up and is stretched, right? Stretched to our limits. Weary and consumed by longing, I was caressed by my beloved last night. My wounded soul sees, all right, let's start again. The lighting's not great. That's why I like when it's just intuitive. I don't have to use my eyes. Weary and consumed by longing, I was caressed by my beloved last night. My wounded soul was set free when I tasted the sweetness of love. My spirit was lifted at once. I surrendered my life while overflowing with joy, and my vision was filled with light. Love said, "Don't feel so hopeless, my weary and gloomy one, for my generosity is beyond forgetting those devoted to me. See how boundless divine justice can be. Behold my immeasurable kindness. Love embraced my spirit, and all my doubts vanished at once. A new and glorious robe of honor was placed on my shoulders. I do believe earlier in the week I spoke about this, a shawl placed on our shoulders. It was recently. It was very recently, within the last week. Love offered me the power of new vision and the transforming touch of divine generosity, and placed the chalice of eternal wine in my hand. Wow. Wow. Okay. Are we done? No, I'm just teasing. Now for the fun stuff. That's the serious stuff. That's the work that we're here to do in the individual, right? And I mean, it's all serious. It's all serious. And yet within the seriousness, it's about rediscovering our playfulness. I'm going to put those roomy cards back up because the desk and the cat is on my lap and the desk is packed. So pulling cards for subscribers. Thank you so much for your support and, helping to grow this channel. Okay, I need some more lip balm. Yeah, it was cold today. And at the end of the day, the sun seems to like to come out later in the afternoon. Did you? Glasses. That's hilarious. Yeah, glasses. Gen X, Scorpio 77, born in 54, 74, Gen X, 67. So is 54 considered the boomers? Is that the boomer generation? I guess it would be, right? Yep, we're all Soul Sisters. Life Path 5 would like to connect with you tonight. So I believe it's Miss Mo, Dawn, that is first up for some cards tonight. I was guided right to the Shaman's Dream deck, so we're going to start there. Here we go. Let me grab a drink. Okay. Thanks for showing up, Crystal. Okay, so Miss Mo, here we go. Here we go. Connecting with the lovely Mo. Okay, they're saying Palo Santo. Again, I just trust. So I just want to be a clear and pure channel to bring through messages for those I connect with tonight that's going to support them in the here and now for this period of expanded growth. of Jupiter in the sign of Cancer. Okay, yeah, boomers 46 to 64. Okay, I don't understand these years. Okay, so and the top one. Okay. Which one? Okay, so Miss Dawn, Miss Mo. Okay, they're saying show that first. So this is the second card that came out. They were saying the top one. This is it. Number 36, Lost in Space. We had a 36 here tonight. It's that 9 energy again. And what I'm really feeling, because this was the first card out, the Vanishing Mirror, ego sublimation. And so it feels like, again, the get out of the head and into the heart. And I know you are incredibly close to the earth. And I'm being guided to encourage you to, it almost, what I'm hearing, Mo, is don't allow the opinions of others to diminish your feelings of self-worth. I'm sure I wrote it in there. I wrote it somewhere recently, like you are worthy, you are worthy, you are worthy. Did I write it in here? I thought I just literally wrote that today. Maybe I didn't. Maybe it was something I read that I had written. Yeah, maybe it was something I share with Uncle Mickey. Okay, and the yawn, Dawn, you've worked with me enough to know it was 13, like it was 3 4s across the board there. You've worked with me enough to know that when I get these yawns, it's like this spiritual energy around. And I feel like your team is all around you, like really just almost saying settle down, like settle the mind, do what needs to be done to distract yourself, because it feels like I just heard like lost in the clouds type of energy. And then on the bottom, this deck was upside down, the crystal mandala, resilience, embracing change. Nothing stays the same, even ourselves. And our ego is always going to try to talk us out of the spiritual mission, the soul work that we're here for. The ego is always going to talk us out. That's essentially what Uncle Mickey said to me yesterday, which hurt so much, right? Is that I'm in my own way of doing what God, what Source wants me to do in the here and now. And so again, this is a really beautiful energy, and it's the 8. It's the soul calling you home to be the change. And this really feels, I'm feeling, I actually am seeing myself from when I used to always spend time down at the lake in Ajax. And I used to draw like a circle and get within it. And sometimes within the circle was a Merkabah or a triangle. So I'm feeling like something like that for you to rest upon the earth within this circle. No problem. No problem. I'm here as long as, as long as I got company, I'm here. So yeah, this really feels like you just doing something for yourself, and perhaps this weekend, because this is a 13 energy. The divine feminine is supporting the change. And yes, change is uncomfortable. We've spoken about that a lot this evening. Change is very uncomfortable. And sometimes it feels like we try too hard to figure out, because we're trying to survive. Let's face it, here in the human experience at this point in time of the transit, the big change, the holy shift, many are just trying to survive. And so there's not a high value placed on the divine. And so that's why it's so beautiful that we're connecting on this one day in 2025, this one Friday the 13th. Next year, we've got 3. That's going to be really beautiful. 3, like this Empress energy to take us through 2026, the Universal 10, big shift. And so it feels like you would really greatly benefit from this weekend and right through the entirety of, the summer season, to take some time to do these little practices while you're out in nature. I'm not saying you have to draw a Merkaba and circle on the ground and get in it and lay there for hours. You could, though. I mean, it sounds good. It sounds good. It's just about supporting yourself through the change, which can feel uncomfortable. And supporting yourself through your connection to nature helps define the alignment and attunes you to these higher frequencies, truly, Dawn, that you're called to hold as you shatter the ceilings of other people's opinions, right? Who cares? They don't pay our bills, right? And yet we do care. And so we have to move through all of what we feel, right? Move through all of what we feel and allow ourselves to feel the grief that comes with the movement, right? The expansion. The first card out is the Black-Eyed Susan. And again, this feels like the Empress energy, divine feminine rising, in service, first and foremost, to her own soul by honoring the human that is here for soul growth, expansion, when we live in a world that wants to be, which seems restrictive. It's the limitations of our mind that, and it's the limitations of the hive that seek to prevent us, each of us, to thrive as the golden thread of light, here for a life of delight, abundant. This again, intuition, you are your own healer, is what I just heard. You are your own healer. And via the acceptance of that, you are empowered. You stand in your power, grace, confidence, courage, worthiness. Hey, summertime. Welcome. I'm pulling cards for all subscribers of the channel. So if you'd like to get in on that action, hit that subscribe button, support the Thrive. Hey, you're not dropping in late. This is the day of the divine feminine, the day of the goddess. We are going as long as I have company with me here on this live tonight. Yay. Thank you. Welcome. Welcome to the family. One thing I will say about this, Dawn, is I saw this beautiful bee yesterday. I was going to make it my profile picture on out there today, but I took a picture of this bee, and what I was really connecting with is the cosmic consciousness that flows from source here in the earthly realms, and it's all around us, and all beings are interconnected. We're all a part of this greater consciousness. And, the birds and the bees don't question whether they're birds and bees. I don't think they do. I think they just focus on being a bird and a bee. Yeah. And, this is the time. This is the time. And it may be, you may be able to, stabilize in the next week before the solstice, Mo, or it may take a longer period of time, perhaps to the Lion's Gate, because we did get that 8 energy here with the 35, the resilience. You may be working on this. It does take time. Nothing's overnight. It does feel, though, that with Mars moving into Virgo this Sunday, we're going to be in that Empress, that mothering energy. So really harness it. Friday the 13th, harness it. You're already doing it. You're in bed, cozied up, so that's it, Mo. You got this. And the only direction you need will be found within, and not in the opinions of others. You don't have to outsource your information, is what I heard. As you attune to the divine and elevate. Because what I really love about this card is like, as we smash ceilings that have been created around us or that we have created around us, we're able to reflect the light more brightly. We're able to shine more brightly, more colors, more colors of the spectrum, a higher frequency. Friday the 13th is the day of the divine. I should have actually started with a little story about Friday the 13th. I've written extensively about it in my workshop, Womb Wisdom. The number 13 has been, so first I'm going to say thank you, Mo, for allowing me to read. I trust that those messages resonate, and I trust that you're going to nurture yourself this weekend and really bask in those beautiful feminine energies that are supporting you. And there was a lot, just before we connected, I started the whole, got hot. It's cooled down now, but your guides are really seeking to communicate with you and guide you to the rest. But we get caught up in life and we get so busy, we don't feel like we have time for ourselves. The time for ourselves is absolutely necessary. So thank you. With respect to the feminine, and then I'm going to, who was after Dawn? Crystal Lee, one of our new family members. So excited to have you. So 13 has really been, that number has been demonized, right? And yet it is the number of the feminine. Lucky 13, not unlucky. And all this foolishness out there in the world, like skipping 13 on house numbers or floor numbers in buildings. Come on. Like, seriously? It's the number of the divine feminine. And this is the day, I imagine in other timelines, we would be really close to earth, barefoot with our skirts and our flower crowns and all the birds and the bees buzzing around and the divine masculine buzzing around too, looking and seeking out his queen, the divine counterpart. Like, this is, the dream. And so we are here to restore righteousness to such things. And think about it. You demonize a number, you demonize a number. And in that, you catch a whole essence. And truly, the divine feminine has been, through women and children, much trauma has ensued on this planetary realm and continues to. And, every time I'm just, as I'm connecting with the divine feminine, I'm seeing that spiral, on all the images of Pachamama, Mother Earth. There's that spiral that comes down from the heart space and into the belly, the home of creation, the womb space. So yeah, it's a very lucky day for us. And it's even more that we're connected here tonight because this is the only one we have this year. And then we have 3 next year. And the 3 next year excites me too, because it's Empress energy with the 3 of them. Empress energy in the year of the Wheel of Fortune. How beautiful. How beautiful. So Crystal Lee is up next. So that's my take on that's like the Cole's notes or Lisa's notes on Friday the 13th. Summer, they're basically, you can put the question there. My guides don't generally have me answer specific questions so much. They will perhaps bring it in like they did last Friday night for our dear brother, John. As a healer, my role is really to support the individual soul within the human experience to heal and, awaken to their own innate gifts and abilities, because we all have them. So sure, like, go ahead and ask the question. Sometimes maybe one Friday night I'll bring my pendulum and we can do more like questions, yes, no, or maybe. The pendulum can help with those. My guides are saying to me right now that the reason that they don't really like the whole question thing, is because that kind of makes this work like entertainment. And at the end of the day, there's always free will. So you can ask a question and then I'll be like, yeah, yeah, like this, or that could happen. And at the end of the day, it's up to us, the individual, to rise up and take the action. And then if it involves others, like in the early days, I used to get people say, oh, I saw this guy at Starbucks and we locked eyes. Is he the one? And my guides put a stop to that right quick. And they're like, no, we're not here for this. Because that's like playing games, and each individual human has free will choice. So I hope that explains, and I'd be happy to read your question and see if anything comes through, and still pull cards for you. So Crystal Lee, here we go. And they're asking me to go right to the Magic of Flowers Oracle first for you. So I feel like a really playful energy around you, Crystal Lee. And perhaps the message is it's about you tuning in more to a playful energy, and reestablishing my voice. Tuning into a playful energy. And two cards fell on my lap here. I haven't looked at them yet. There's a call, like I feel an excitement kind of like building from within your experience. So I don't know if you're on the verge of making some breakthroughs or break frees into some co-creative endeavors, or if that's what the call is. So you're either feeling excitement, or perhaps you're feeling like like you're holding yourself back. And what they're having me tune into is the space between your hips, the sacral chakra. And the sacral chakra is the home of the emotions. It's where we store emotions in our body, and good, bad, or otherwise. And so either you're ready to burst forth with joy, or you're holding yourself back from that experience and you're holding on to your pain and stuff. A good way to know is if you're having like hip and back and leg and feet pain, there's blocks in the sacral and root chakra. If you're ready to burst and go out there and co-create, okay, so let's just, before I come back to you, Crystal Lee, we're just going to address Samantha Ramirez here. So welcome, Samantha. Welcome. I trust that you have found this space for a reason. Actually, 9 is where we are here in this 9 year, flipping the script. Every time I see that number that they use with the lower dimensional realms, the 6, those who know me know, and we've got 6 live viewers and 6 thumbs up. So thank you. You fill my cup. When we see that 6 energy, I'm always encouraged to say we are the script flippers. We're ones here to flip the script. So, yeah. Yes. So, hey, welcome. If you'd like me to tune into your energy, I thought it was like Dr. Alvis, who was here the other week ago. He was just here and wasn't contributing in an uplifting way to the live. So I just wanted to see, because I saw a new name and all these. I'm going to read your comments after. I'm going to get back to Miss Crystal Lee here. And so I think I read that, Crystal, there's no pain in your hips. So then this feels like this energy wanting to burst forth with excitement. So let's see what the cards. Yes, exactly. Transformation, this freedom, this joy. I'm getting hot again. So I'm feeling like you're really highly connected to the spiritual realms. And it feels like, whether you're conscious of it or not, like you have a strong connection. Your intuition is strong. I would encourage you to trust your intuition as you move along to, what's the card here? The flower is the freesia. Freedom to be you, freedom to do as you choose, honoring divine truth as it lives and breathes as you, transforming. I'm so hot right now. Can you see the sweat? I'm so hot. I have to take this off. I may have to put it back on. I am of menopausal variety. Oh my gosh. I should have said the name earlier. I didn't. I should have. And yet I was talking about Egypt. This really feels like the Divine Mother, Isis, the encompass the entirety of the Divine Feminine, um, who, via embarking on this journey of human life in this particular timeline, have you're here for great purpose. Your intuition's on point. Trust this and learn to honor yourself more by trusting what you know, and this will grow your personal power. This will grow your I just heard growing in your nobility via stability, via the soles of your feet, um, protected by God as you walk softly with your heart and the heart of others. You were born for this transformation. You were born to fly. You were born to experience. I heard flits of delight, and then my humanist wants to say flights of delight. I just heard like grabbing life by, grabbing the bull by the horns and going for it, taking charge of your vessel. I feel chariot energy coming in, shaman's dream. Yeah, team light. Oh, Crystal Lee. Yes, the Garden of Venus, rest and renew. So perhaps you may feel like you've been flitting, or maybe that's why I heard flit, like flitting from one thing to another, not quite sure what you're supposed to do. And all that you're really supposed to do in the moment is feel good in the experience of the human that's you. 25 reduces to a 7, which is always about my, chakras 101 along the spine, lighting up. And we're in this real time, and the message has been coming through for months now, since Pisces season, of rest and renew. We have been through a lot. The Gregorian year of 2025, we're only in the spring of that year, the first season of the true year. Um, but we're like halfway through the Gregorian year, right? And this Gregorian year has been a lot. And it's been a lot for us to process and integrate. And yet there's no doubt that that's exactly what you're here to do. I'm feeling cool again. That's exactly what we are here to do. And you are doing it, Crystal. Yeah, I'm glad that you said, yep. And also, in the earlier message, we have Venus in Taurus, right? Venus in Taurus about our relationships with others. And our relationships with others always flow from, I've got some buzz on me. Our relationships with others always flow and are reflected by our relationship to ourselves. And remember earlier in the messages, it was like, are we fueled, filled up, or running on empty? And only you can answer that, and take the time to rest. We don't give ourselves enough permission, and in particular women, right? Because we're mothers, we're employees, we're uh, wives, girlfriends, aunties, daughters, all of this. And we tend to really put others before ourselves. Even Mo was saying that in her reading, like she's been busy doing her things that she does in life, very worthy and worthwhile stuff. And yet she has placed her needs and her desires on the back burner, right? And so here, this is about, I've been saying it for weeks now, really enjoying this solstice season. It feels like all of us are really called to embrace the energy of this solstice season, showing up for ourselves in new ways, because we have changed so much, especially since the time of the Pisces new moon in 2024, March 10th of 2024. That was a big catalyst for many of us for healing, and particularly healing wounds through the connection to the masculine. So, Crystal Lee, you may be going through a lot. You may be going through a lot, but you're doing it, and you deserve to rest. We need less fire. We need less fire on the planet, and perhaps more ability for folks to connect with the waters that flow within their own unique human experience, right? We are the waters of life. And as we breathe, we fan the flames of our own inner fire, which nurture the co-creation of our heart's desire in the here and now. You got the same one. The resilience card, Crystal Lee, embracing change. And again, so, same message received for Dawn. And this is also a message many of you, I'm not sure if you were here at the time, Crystal Lee, but a few weeks ago, what moon was that? Was that the Gemini new moon? Or maybe earlier than that? Was it I think maybe it doesn't really matter. The Libra full moon. Anyways, at that time, we received a card that night that was the resilience card, and it was a woman carrying this big sack of soil on her back and a tree growing out of it. And it said, the word on the card was resilience. And what the message that came through that night was, it is safe for you to now let those burdens down, to put the bag down. We have ended that phase, and now we have to do our part within our daily experience to clean the slate, which is us. And we can think about focusing along our spine, 10 toes on the ground, aligning with the divine and anchoring that energy down and embracing change, as uncomfortable as it is, right? That 5 energy, so frigging uncomfortable, right? We humans resist change, and yet it is, it's an active ingredient in each and every day. The fact that this deck wanted to be used first with you, Crystal Lee, and these two beauties came out, you are in the midst of a really powerful transformation. Have faith in yourself. Keep showing up for yourself, and trust that via discipline and personal responsibility, legends are born and sacred dreams really do come true. The whole entire universe is counting on you. So I trust that those messages resonated, Crystal Lee. Do let me know. Thank you so much for showing up here tonight and allowing me to connect with your beautiful, delightful energy. Incredibly powerful. All of you are. Anyone who's connected here, years and years ago, I received a message that I was a healer for healers. So yay. You're so welcome. Thank you for showing up tonight. I'm so grateful. And you're powerful. Otherwise, you wouldn't resonate with the thing I said. You'd just be like, she's woo, 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 cuckoo, cuckoo. Remember when we used to do that as kids? Or what was the movie reel one? Whatever. Children. Okay, so who's next? Okay, so summertime. Are you still here? Sweetness divine, let me know. I don't, is there a question? Summertime, let me know if you're still here. I hope you're still here and you still want me to connect with you. Anyone else who's wanting cards or a bit of a connection, let me know. Colleen. Okay, let me just see if summertime comments here. I know I'm not cuckoo. Actually, I am a little cuckoo. I think the best people are, right? Like we're really here to embrace our weird. We're not meant to be the same as everyone else. And perhaps it's our weird that supports our shine, that supports our ability to light up rooms and support the opening of hearts and minds. Perhaps yeah, wonderful weirdos. I love all the weirdos. And if I'm a weirdo, I want to be the queen of the weirdos, right? Or yeah, why not? Okay, so I don't see summertime here. So if summertime comes back in, then I will connect. I just don't really connect unless. No, I'm not crazy. I am not crazy. I'm not crazy. Have I felt crazy in the world that's absolutely Lulu, Delulu? Absolutely. And that crazy world probably could have labeled any of us crazy, right? Um, and that's one way that yeah. I don't know. No, I don't think we're going to get a full night's sleep again soon. I mean, I'm up every like 2 hours or so. It's redonkulous. Thank you, full moon. Actually, we may get some sleep. We may get some restful nights. And that's actually, I'm glad you popped in, Callie, and welcome. Thanks so much for showing up from down under. I'm up here in Canada. Yeah. And I was given that message about the healer for healers as I was connecting with some very powerful healers in Australia. Like I could not believe that they were guided to work with lisalyle, little lisalyle, and yet they were, and we continue to work together. And powerful women, powerful goddesses from down under. Oh, my youngest sister, niece, and my father and stepmother live in Calgary. Yeah. Yay, welcome. I'm pulling cards for all subscribers. So if you feel so guided to hit that subscribe button, I'll happily connect and pull some cards and bring out some messages through for you. About the crazy, though, I feel really guided to say that isn't that a way that the patriarch has really demonized and diminished the feminine, right? Because as women, we're highly intuitive. We're more right brain guided, right? We are, more intuitive, more nurturing by nature. And the lunacy in the world these days wants to convolute and confuse that. And we do based on our genetics, double X, XY. Today I kept hearing triple helix. Interesting. I just thought I'd throw that out there. And the helix is like a spiral or coil, right? Like our DNA. Maybe the triple helix is although I had heard many, many years ago about the 12-strand DNA we were bringing online. And that was 13 years ago that I received that message, before like many were talking about it. But the crazy, this is one way, and and we're all large bodies of water here on Earth, and the moon really guides us. The moon is this feminine essence, the light and the shadow, the dark and the illumination, and the waxing and the waning, right? That's like us women. The moon governs Cancer, very moody, watery, right? And so it's been our gifts have been used against us over time, and to be feminine has been demonized. And especially today, like a lot of people out there in the world can't answer the question of what a woman is. Insane, right? Like insane. Come on. Like, do we have to go back to the birds and the bees? Perhaps we should go back to the birds and the bees. They don't question what they are. They know what they are. They know their job here in this lifetime, and they get on with it. Humans, we want to convolute it. We want to fight over it. We want to divide. We want to confuse boys and girls. Boys can be girls. Girls can be boys. Why is this kind of foolishness taught in school? What does it have to do with reading, writing, arithmetic, learning to do taxes? Actually, we should learn to hold our governments accountable for how they spend our taxes. And until they can do that and be transparent, perhaps we should not be doling it out. There's a thought, right? Like, let's just get back to the basics. Remember that message that came through with the Virgo full moon and eclipse there, March 13th of this year? Ancient wisdom, modern mystic, simply spiritual. That's what we are. Back to the heart. Okay, who was I? I get sidetracked. Summertime's gone. We've lost summertime, I think. Aw. Okay, Colleen. We're on to our sister Colleen out in BC. BC. This whole country is being transformed. And I'm sure many of you in the countries you live in the Western world, is being transformed. Is it for our greatest and highest good? Or is it a part of that convoluted worldwide web of control? The global institutions. We're the universal crew. We're the universal crew who is grounded here to speak and share truth. God has always resided. I'm just reading some of Samantha's comments here as I've got the first card out for Colleen. God has always resided within the human. The deception has come through the installation, let's say the installation of religion into the human consciousness many, many eons ago. Our brother Yeshua and his mother and his father and his beloved Mary of Magdalene, they weren't religious folks, right? They didn't attach to a religion. They spoke of a source. He spoke of a father, of a creator, right? And then in order to get humans on this planet to conform with the ways of the conquerors, right? In order to do that, they created religion that put a middleman between you and I and source, someone who knows better, it has a more clear connection to source than you or I. I call BS on that fool-la-la, honestly. And when you look at a lot of these religions and stuff, who's leading the helm? The men, of course. Get off your high horse, guys. Open the inner eyes. The divine feminine is on the rise. Yeah, 9 is my number for completion. 10 is my number for the new beginning. And 6 is my script flipping number from the satanic realms, the demonic realms that have been conditioned in this space. And we are each and every one of us connected here are the bridge or the gateway to the experience of heaven on earth. Heaven's not a place we go after we die. It's meant to be experienced while we're alive. We all are powerfully connected. Not sure what all this talk is, but team light, team light. Okay, Colleen. Yeah, it's funny. I believe everyone we all have gifts. And I believe, when I look back through my lineage, there are gifted, um, like my father is quite sensitive and he used to visually see things, but not talk about them. And then, my sisters are highly sensitive and this kind of stuff. And when I was young, I can remember my mother going to visit a psychic, or I'm not even sure what it was that she went to see. I think a psychic. And anyway, she came home and I was so excited. I wanted to hear all about it and what had been shared and everything. And the only thing I can remember my mother sharing with me is that the woman told her that one of her daughters, her daughter was like her. And so I guess that's me. I felt it was me then, and I still do. It obviously is. So, anyways, Colleen, I want to get on. You are gifted. There's no other reason you would be here holding space with me if you weren't. So, your first card out was from the Crystal Mandala Oracle, Intuition. Speaking of gifted, and again, another 25. 7. So the biggest message for all of us here tonight is about the integration through the physical vessel, right? 10 toes on the ground. 10 toes on the ground, being grounded in the now. Listen to your inner guidance. And this is how our intuition grows. Many people over the years have asked, how do you grow your intuition? Well, first and foremost is honor it. Honor it. When something comes up, it's like gut instincts, right? Learning to trust ourselves, the voice in our, not so much the voice in our head, more the reactions in our body, like the gut instincts. It was 2, 1, 2, 2, 2 there. Trusting yourself above all others. Trusting that there's no need for a middle person. I mean, this is nice, right? It's supportive. And yet ultimately, you don't truly need me. And I hope that the biggest gift I give or share is confidence to trust yourself and the inner voice within, to make yourself your guru. I saw a picture today on social media of some guru. I forget what his name, Swarmy something. And there were 2 people on the ground in front of him kissing his feet, a man and a woman. And I just thought that was so strange. And my immediate thought was we should be kissing our own feet. We should be kneeling at the ground on our hands and knees with our forehead to the ground at the beauty of us and the richness of gifts that are us. And our gifts are freely given. We don't really have to go to school to uncover our spiritual gifts. We just need to teach our children from an early age that the spiritual is the way of life, not based on religion or denomination. My beautiful friend, Uncle Mickey, who scolded me yesterday, he's also a writer, and he wrote a book called Christ Divided, The Scandal of Denomination, right? And this is where, the holy wars in the name of love for some Allah, Buddha, God, source, blah, 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 blah. Source, loving and kind. Beyond the minds of men, the heart beats. So trust the heart that beats. Your next two cards are the Horseman, Herald of Change. Can we sense a theme here, sisters? Is there a change? Is there a theme tonight? Change, discomfort, uncomfort. And yet, all I can see here is the 30, which is that 3 energy, Empress. And this change, we're going to be galloping into the Gregorian 2026. Remember, though, this time we're here for this big cycle. Jupiter in Cancer. This time next year, this is just the beginning. And it's up to us via the path of free will choice if we are going to ride forward, free, freedom horse, born for more, delight, ribbons. I am just seeing that horse with ribbons and, all decorated, pretty flowers, crowns, not bowing down to any perceived external power. At the end of the day, we each answer to our source, of course. And even if that's just our higher selves, a loving consciousness, it is this universal cosmic web of light through which we are all intertwined. And we've been given the gift of this human life. 10 toes on the ground, heart beating, nose and mouth breathing, more nose breathing. 46, the netcasters, preparations come to fruition. And so 46, 42, which comes to a 6, which is the Lover's card, choices, change. We can choose to stay the same, right? We all have the choice, and because change is uncomfortable, right? Change is uncomfortable. If you're here, you're going to go through the change. You're not choosing to stay the same. And so this is a time of preparation, rest, reassessing. Reassessing, perhaps looking for the blessing or the silver lining in situations and circumstances that aren't ideal. And I would say many of us worldwide are living in circumstances that are not ideal. And many of us, depending where we live in the Western world, are experiencing a diminishing of the quality of life where we live. In my country, Canada, Canada's absolutely devastated right now. We have no growth here. We haven't had growth in this country for 10 years. Plus, we are lowest in the developed world. So if Canada doesn't turn things around, what was once beautiful Canada is quickly going to become unrecognizable, an unrecognizable third world country in the West. And I don't jest. That's not a joke. That's truth. So we are powerful, though, and we have lots of work to do, and we can shift this. We have to stay focused on what it is we wish to experience. We are here supporting the awakening of our sisters and brothers. We are protected. Colleen, you are protected. This is like total Archangel Michael vibe. Yarrow. I have some yarrow. I don't remember what it's good for. You may want to look into that. I do love the color of it, though. The golden light, solar plexus, inner fire. You are guided and protected. And perhaps yarrow is about protection. Protection. And this is the divine masculine showing up for you in the form I'm feeling Archangel Michael encouraging you forward, making wishes. Also working with dandelion root. It's a bitter and it's very good for detoxification and support of the liver. So cleansing. I mean, there's so much, right? And it's the little things we can be tapping into and tuning into the magic. We are the seeds of change being blown on the winds of change. Make a wish. The Divine Mother supports your bliss. Chrysanthemum. I have 2 tattooed on my left shoulder. Chrysanthemum, powerful, divine feminine, rising, 10 toes on the ground, rooted. Circumstances and situations have not been ideal. The feminine has been, I'm almost hearing like I heard disowned, but the feminine is um, bringing restoration to the home front by focusing first on self, like a flower slowly opening. Gifts are developing, intuition is heightened. You are making preparations at this time for your dreams to come to fruition. Have faith in this. Make choices that support this. Freedom is yours. All you got to do is hop on and ride that horse, of course. Intuition. Listen to your inner guidance. First and foremost, trust the voice of love, the voice of reason that speaks, whispers softly from within. Mother Mary speaks to me singing songs of freedom. Is that how it goes? I'm glad, Colleen. I'm glad he showed up tonight. You are safe, guided, and protected. You are safe, guided, and protected. Thank you so much for allowing me to connect and change, connect and read for you, Colleen. Was there anyone else here looking for a card pull, or are we going to make this a short Friday the 13th? It's the only one of the year. This would be our shortest live in a couple weeks. So Colleen, Dawn, Smith, I'm not sure. Smith is still hanging around with us. Crystal, telling me I'm not weird. It's okay. I know. I have a very keen sense. I am very keenly self-aware. I kind of embrace my weirdness. I was told one time, years and years ago, by a person I dearly love, that he asked me if I was indulging my lunacy. And I embrace indulging my lunacy because honestly, it's lunacy to others is walking barefoot on the grass where other people think it's dirty. It's so supportive of this gal. Honestly, if I could walk through life every day barefoot, I'd never put shoes on my feet again. Honestly. I enjoy the company too. You're so welcome. Yeah, I'm okay with my weird side too. We're all okay with that. Mother Mary comes to me speaking words of wisdom. Thank you, Mo. You always help me out. Thank you. It's important to honor our weirdness because you know what? It's our weirdness that's our gifts. And it feels like for a long time, and at this time, it feels like the grief is coming from saying goodbye to the self that we created in order to thrive, in order to survive within circumstances and situations throughout our life that weren't ideal. And remember, those neural pathways are instilled early in our experience, root, sacral chakra in particular. And, so many of us experienced trauma through those energetic centers, through at that time in our life. So root and sacral chakra, birth to 14. Before we started to take the reins of our own life and make our own choices and decisions. I am over here doing it since 1984. So, yeah, Callie from Down Under asking us about a full night's sleep. How are y'all sleeping out there? It's been up and down all around, quite honestly. I don't see anyone else here asking for a card or a read. Yeah, I think that's it. Like no one else. We had Samantha there with us for a while, giving us all, throwing down the numerology she was. Or he was. I don't know. Somewhere up there it said he. So I don't know if that was confused or. Let's see. Slaying dragons. Oh, Yeshua. Maybe she was talking about. Sleeping well? Okay, that's good. What about you, Colleen and Mo? If anyone else is here and wants cards, let me know. Otherwise, we may wrap this up early and I may go and sit outside and look at the moon, contemplate life. Oh, look at this. Just shuffling and playing around. Look at this. We've got the Joyful Muse, number 33. There's that 3 energy again. 3. Awakening to the consciousness of the Christ. We are the light. Or 3 is like the Empress energy. No. 3, 1, 3, the Trinity. The feminine, the masculine, the child, mother, father, God. Double 3, the Christ, the path of forgiveness, the path of awakening in this life, the path of devotion. The triple 3, the divine feminine, the goddess energy, the ascended or ascending masters. Perhaps we are the ascended masters who have descended into this timeline to rise again and restore what is righteous via the pathway of inspired joy, inspired co-creation, divine inspiration. We're closing the door. This universal 9 is full of tremendous changes, and we are closing the door on the ties of the mind that have kept us in a bind, in a timeline that is not supportive of the greatest and highest good. Whatever's taking place here on earth, remember, things are slow moving. You cannot control what is destined for us. Fate is sitting around on our butts waiting for life to happen. Destiny is going for what we know is ours, following our heart and trusting that we are being led, trusting that joy is exactly our daily bread and what we are to be feeding ourselves, and closing the door the remainder of this year and even into the first part of the Gregorian 2026. We are closing the door, saying goodbye to the life we had, to who we were back then, and welcoming and actually looking in the mirror and adoring who we are. Beautiful child of the heart, the golden child of light, here for a life of delight. And people don't have to understand us. Our happiness and our joy is not dependent on another's approval of us. It most certainly is dependent on our own approval of ourselves, though. Mic drop. Perhaps that's where we call it tonight, because that feels like, the divine feminine truth dropping truth bombs. Our happiness and joy is not dependent on another's approval of us. It most certainly is dependent on our approval of self in the eternal now moment. Yes, absolutely. And sometimes using our voice to stand up for others who haven't quite landed upon their path of mastery yet. Ladies and gents, I thank you so much for showing up here tonight. How about we do this again tomorrow night? Not sure if we'll pull cards, but maybe come back with some questions. Maybe I'll bring my numerology stuff and my pendulum for some yes and no fun. Let's connect here again tomorrow night. And for the remainder of this day, out west, you've got 3 hours left on Friday the 13th. Here in Ontario, we're winding it down. We've got about 40 minutes left to harness. And actually, we've got the whole weekend. I'm just playing with you, right? In terms of the clock and the calendar days. We really have the whole weekend to harness this energy. So let's do that from now all through tomorrow until we connect here tomorrow night. Let us see what we can do that inspires delight, to invoke our light to shine a little bit better, to show ourselves just a little more tenderness, compassion, and care. Because you know what? We are so worthy. You're not sleeping well, Colleen. I will be sleeping soon. I feel like I'm going to be sleeping too. I find myself retiring earlier these days, and just laying there, I just feel like there's been so much stimulation for our nervous system that when we're being called to slow down, it feels uncomfortable, right? Because now we're tuning into our parasympathetic nervous system, calm and peace. And that's why I encourage some nose breathing. In through your nose, out through your mouth. Oh, remember doing that when you were young? I always used to do that kind of stuff in front of the fan. Do you all do that? Do y'all do that? Come on. Y'all, like I'm American, but I think I'm reading Colleen's comment. Love y'all. Love you too, Colleen. I don't really have much of a Southern drawl. I'm Canadian, eh? And I think I sound like a Canadian most days. Yeah, I knew you would. I knew you were with me on that one. Or this, Jane to Tarzan, but it was always the guys beating themselves on the chest. And yet this kind of stuff is really supportive to moving, for lymphatic drainage, for cleansing, for clearing frequency and sound, all this stuff. You're Southern? Y'all, you're Southern. Nice. Where are you, Crystal? Tell us. Most of us here are Canucks, Canuckleheads. We're Canadians. Canada's an absolute circus. It's a mess. Well, North America is. Let's be honest. North America is let's just be honest. The entire planet is right now, right? It just seems things popping off here, there, and everywhere. And that's why I went back to read that Samantha's comments, because I thought it was some of that KY Kentucky. Deep South, y'all. Yeah, I'm getting hot again. So I really feel like we are surrounded in this moment by universal source loving us, encouraging us to close the back door, open that front door, and let your light shine out. And you may need to do some of that inner housekeeping. That's okay. We all do. The best of us do. The good ones continue to do the inner work. This journey isn't for the weak of mind or faint of heart, because we are here for spiritual purpose. And our calling is of the highest nature. And it's really important that today we answer that call and trust our heart more. And with that being said, I am going to open the front door and go and get some coolness outside, unless these spirits want to follow me out the door. Call your crew back. Thank your crew. Thank your crew so much for showing up. I thank mine. I see you all. I love you. I feel you. Honestly, really, this is one really happy place for me. I love sharing and I love connecting with those who are as curious and passionate about the spiritual experience while here in human form, because I have no doubt in my mind or heart that what we do here now matters so much more than ever before. And I would encourage you to close that back door, open the front, and let your sun shine out. I was thinking of another song. Let the sun shine in. Is that how it goes? It was like some 60s song. I really don't. Let the sun shine in. Oh, I wasn't prepared to sing at all tonight. Whew. Let the sun shine. Anyway, so we could just round it up with a rousing rendition of This Little Light of Mine. We could do it. This Little Light of Mine. Remember that from the Sunday school days? This was our little light, our little candle. We weren't going to let anyone blow it out. In some ways, that little candle was blown out, right? Maybe not blown out, but it was flickering in the wind. If you're happy and you know it, clap your hands. If you're happy and you know it, clap your hands. If you're happy and you know it and you really want to show it. If you're happy and you know it, clap your hands. If you're happy and you know it, pound your chest. Right? We could go on. We could do head and shoulders, knees and toes. We could do it all. I think, though, ultimately, what we're really called to do is go and take some time and perhaps reflect, do some journaling, maybe just light a candle, have a bath, just relax. Oh, were you singing it today? I love it. I love it. I sing that song often. And then the other one, I've got the joy, 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 joy down in my heart. Down in my heart. Down in my heart. I've got the joy, 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 joy down in my heart. Down in my heart to stay. Sing it with me. And I'm so happy, so very happy. I've got the love of source in my heart. Right? That's it. I could literally go all night. I thought I would be here longer tonight. And, it's really interesting. I thought too much this week. I thought too much. I thought I should be doing this. I thought I should be doing this. I thought I should be doing that. Last week I thought that this week would look different than it did. And you know what? This week was perfectly divine. And although I may not see it today, I trust that this week has supported my ability to shine and hold higher frequencies of light, just as all of you are doing. And I thank you so much for doing your part. I thank you for showing up here and singing with me and honoring and indulging our lunacy, our wisdom, ancient wisdom. We are the modern mystics, the poets, the healers, the oracles. We're all of it. Each and every one of you who resonate with anything shared here are a real one, and you're here for great purpose. And a big part of our purpose is to have more fun. So let the sun shine in. Let the sun shine in. The sun shine in. Perhaps we need to let it out, right? Who sang that song? It's like a 60s or 70s song. I don't know. Anyways, starting to fuss with my hair. Not like I have a lot to fuss with, but Dawn, Crystal, Kiva's gone, I think, and Witness 222. Thank you all for showing up here tonight. Callie from Down Under, Samantha, we lost her. Hopefully she'll come back to us. Colleen, Summertime. I hope that they find their way back to us. If they're meant to be, I trust that they will join us again on another day. I will be back here with you tomorrow evening. Not sure where we'll go, what we'll do. If you have any suggestions, send me an email, drop it in the comments down below the video, because once the live stream's gone, you can't comment on that. So if there's something that you'd like to see, let me know. My intention at this time is really to spend the day in nature, bare feet on Mother Gaia, and I will probably lay down in the sunshine somewhere if I get out of the apartment tomorrow. We'll see. We'll see. Thank you all so much for joining me this Friday the 13th. I'll look forward to connecting with you on the next Friday the 13th, but that won't be until 2026. So I look forward to connecting with you here next Friday night. We do the same thing. I pull cards for all subscribers of the channel. So tell your friends and family if they think anything here. Yes, that's it. Thank you, Mo. Thank you. You always help me out on those kind of things. I appreciate you so much. We'll be back here next Friday for the Freebie Friday. Tell your friends, tell your family if you think that they may benefit or resonate with anything shared here, or if perhaps, I don't know. Sharing's caring, and I appreciate the energetic exchange. So thank you all so much for showing up. I see you, I feel you, I love you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Sweet dreams, sisters. All I can hear is Patsy Cline. I'm not even going to attempt that because her voice is like way amazing. But you know the song Sweet Dreams? Maybe have a listen to it. Sweet dreams of manifestation of divine birthright, the divine feminine restoring righteousness in this life, and living an abundance of joy. Until next time, everyone, take good care. I love you so much.